Welcome to this week's energy forecast. I am Rachel Thompson Phillips, the creator of the BU Oracle cards and also of the Sacred Online program. This week's energy forecast is for January the 13th through to the 19th. This week's energy overall theme is mindset matters. Let's go in and explore a little bit further how we find that out. Monday and Tuesday is the card of limitations. Wednesday through till Friday is the World card, and Saturday and Sunday is the card of perception. Monday and Tuesday with the card of limitations, you can see that the full moon that we had on the weekend has really rattled people. It's allowed emotions to come to the surface that have led to a heightened level of vulnerability and sensitivity. And we get really overwhelmed when we have so much emotion surging through our physical body and through our mindset that it's really easier to attach how you feel by your emotions. So allowing your emotions to be your guidance tool. And usually that is the key, because our emotions do guide us towards being able to understand what is behind that. Do you really believe in that feeling that's coming through? Are those emotions old emotions that have surfaced, or are they new emotions that are matching the frequency of the person that you've grown into? Monday and Tuesday reveals to us that we start to master our emotions. We start to allow our emotions to be surfaced and to acknowledge them and validate them, but not to be governed by them. So let me explain a little bit more. Say, for example, all of a sudden you have an emotion that comes up to the surface that triggers off old past traumas, where you may have a thought process or an emotion that is connected to not feeling so good about yourself, or feeling like life isn't exactly where you want it to be, and then we start to go on this downward spiral. That's usually what has happened in the past. But with this week's overall theme being mindset matters, you're aware that your mindset is what governs your emotions in the first place. If you don't want to feel a certain way, then your thought processes need to change to be able to redirect the way that you feel, because we get a thought that triggers an emotion, and then our actions then lead to being able to mirror those emotions. So this week we're being guided to see that soulful version within our own self, that courageous version of self, and that really determined human aspect of self goes, you know what, I don't want to feel this way. This is not the way that I want to feel. So what do I need to do to be able to feel the way that I want to feel? Because I understand that my feelings are going to contribute to my actions and my behaviors and the patterns that I continue forward from those feelings. So we get this really tapped into this determined version of self, which is absolutely amazing, because this is where we start to overcome those limitations. We start to be able to have a look at them and explore, is this really how you want to feel? Because even though we naturally are attuned to go in a certain direction, that's only because of the wiring of your neural pathways. When you've had a natural thought and it activates an emotion, it's only because you have done that for so long. So this is where the limitations card is coming in, revealing to us this week that we are going to explore a different way of how you want to feel, which will help you break through those limitations. Yes, the full moon has brought all of these gorgeous things into your awareness, but sometimes those things are brought into your awareness because your soul is saying to you, you are so much more than what you think. That there is a courageous, determined, incredibly successful version of self that is just wanting to be honored. And when I say success is a very different vision for every single person. So just think about what success means for you. And success is usually attributed to achieving, being able to break through any obstacles, any fears or doubts, and being able to stay focused on the end goal of what it is that you want. And you understand that by being able to achieve what you want, you need to first think about your energy frequency, which is how you want to feel, so that you can embody that energy frequency that matches the thing that you want to achieve, to attract it more easily into your vibration. So this is where we learn that we are not all of our emotions. Our emotions are a guidance tool, but we can change that at any given time. You get to decide how you want to feel. It's not like, oh, okay, my emotions are showing up and it's activating. This is a feeling for me. I don't need to be able to stay in that feeling base if it is not projecting the energy or the frequency or the direction that you want to go in. So it's not a matter of push and pull. It's about being able to go, yes, okay, I honor these emotions that are coming up. I understand where they're coming from. But is that how I want to feel? If the answer is yes, that's awesome. But if it invokes a feeling where the answer comes back with no, you get to decide through your thoughts how you want to feel. So this is how we start to understand that our mindset does matter, because it governs how we feel, and how we feel becomes the frequency of what we attract. Now, as you can see from Monday and Tuesday, by being able to come into this more determined, aligned version of self that knows that everything you ever want is achievable, regardless in which spectrum it is within your world, whether it's mind, body, soul, spirit, relationships, family, finances. You are put on this earth to live an abundant lifestyle and have that flowing into our world through how we think and feel becomes the vessel in which becomes the attraction magnet. And we can see that through the work that we do on Monday and Tuesday brings us through to the card of the world on Wednesday through till Friday, because when you understand that you are an incredibly powerful vessel through your thinking and through your feelings, we understand that that allows us to stay in alignment with our real truth. Not the things that just show up and can take us out of flow, take us out of sync and out of balance, but you get to decide how you want to think and how you want to feel, and therefore that opens up the world to success. So the World card is an incredibly auspicious card that lets us know that when we do that inner work and when we match our thoughts, emotions, and our energy, we start to embody the very thing that we want. And when we can learn to master our emotions, that is a success within our own self, because many times our emotions lead us down pathways, not always, but when we have emotions that activate feelings where I'm not good enough, or who am I to feel that I can do this, or worthiness or value typed emotions that we start to spiral downwards. And when we not so much challenge them, because I don't want to use the word challenge, but when we start to go, hey, hang on a second, is this actually really how I want to think and feel? No, I am so much more powerful than what I give myself credit for. So I give thanks for those lower vibrating emotions that have surfaced, because I can see that that has just been a pattern or a cycle that I've become accustomed to. But I've evolved and grown so much more, and I'm going to take my power back and choose different options, which leads you to being able to have the world is your oyster. When your thoughts, feelings, emotions, and energy all embody everything that you want, you actually do become this magnet that starts attracting anything that you want. The world then starts being opened up to a whole new line of possibilities, because what that exploration of your emotions does is it ignites your self-belief. And when you believe in yourself, anything is possible. Let me repeat that. When you believe in yourself, anything is possible. Because 9 times out of 10, the only thing that usually holds you back is your own self. And we are being shown that Wednesday through to Friday is where that fire within you starts to light up. And you realize those words are no longer just words. They are feelings. They are something that you have reconnected back to that truth within your own self, that you know that you were put on this earth to live an abundant life on every level within self. So therefore the world does become your oyster, because you can succeed in every area of your life. The thing that comes to me right at this very moment, so wasn't what I'd planned, but I'm going to share with you the thing that comes to me the most right at this very given moment in connection to the limitations in the world card, is be very, very clear about what it is that you want. And if you find that over the next couple of days that starts to alter and change, then just readjust them, course correct, to be able to match the frequency, the thoughts and the emotions that you are vibrating when you challenge those old thinking processes. Because sometimes we can find that when we vibrate at that lower frequency of feeling that we are not worthy and that we're not good enough, we only allow ourselves to dream these very small dreams. And yet that moment that we connect into that very determined, courageous version of self, we start to realize and break through those confinements that we've put on our own self. Or not only does the world become your oyster, but you start dreaming bigger, you start wanting more, you start stepping up more. So therefore, we want to make sure that our dreams, goals and aspirations and the abundant life that you were born to live will need to have adjustments to be able to match this new version of self. Again, which leads to a whole new world being opened within you. And as I always say to my students, once you visit new world, you cannot go back to old world, which means that you will no longer settle for staying in those emotional states that don't vibrate the frequency that you want. Who wants to stay in a low vibrating space that only just continues to spiral downwards and continue to make you feel not so great about yourself? No one. This is the moment where we are starting to step into our own power and realizing that our power begins with our mindset. So mindset and energy creates a vortex of electromagnetic force. So you start working in your natural flow. So you'll start feeling a different vibration of energy flowing through you come Wednesday through to Friday, which is electrifying, because when you realize and you connect into that self-belief, it's almost as if opening up doorways that may have been closed to you before have now become almost thrust open, because you realize that you're the only person that was holding you back, your own self. It's very, very powerful when we understand that conclusion, and that's just a matter of coming back to a level of self-acceptance. When we accept that that was a version of self, but we don't have to, that doesn't have to be the version that we stay in, and we shift and move into the next level you, things naturally start attracting to you, and it's beautiful. Which leads us through to Saturday and Sunday's energy, which is perception. We start to realize that our perception of the world has been now completely flipped in a different direction, because from the start of the week we've changed our thoughts and emotions. We've changed that frequency within our own self. We move into the midweek where we start to believe in ourselves, and our perception now starts to alter that, because we understand the lens from which we viewed the world is now completely changed. We're not being held back. The thing that I keep seeing in my head is that there was always a post on Facebook, and it's about a butterfly trying to fly up the stairs, but it has this string attached to a rock, and it's about allowing those anything that's holding you back to be cut free from you. So this is what that perception is. It's like the world was always the same, but your filter from which you view the world has now been released from that emotional burdens, those old activating triggers that keep you feeling not so great. You're no longer allowing yourself to sit in that vibration and believe in that. You've challenged it. You're understanding that you are the conscious creator of your world, and therefore that means that you can be, do and have anything that you want in this world if you believe yourself. Keep your mindset in alignment. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say to you it's really easy to consistently stay in that space. So you may find that as you challenge those emotional states, you may not naturally feel your energetic frequency rise straight away. That's okay. Don't worry about that. Don't focus on that. Focus on the fuel that runs the vehicle, which is your mindset, your thinking processes. So you may find that you go into a space of going through, continually going over affirmations that I believe in myself. I am an attraction magnet. I am embodying this new frequency where I believe in myself. I value myself. I am worthy of living an abundant life. And therefore, that is becoming the fuel that's charging all of those electrical charges that then sends that gorgeous message through your physical structure that then alters your energetic frequency to match this new vibration. So you may find that you feel restless, and that's because you need to get up and move to shift that old energy that may be stuck in your physical structure and shift that through your body to allow the new energy to come through and start shining from internally back out externally. So don't worry about not feeling that rapid shift if that is what happens for you. Some people might, and that's beautiful, but if that isn't what is happening for you, that's okay. Remember, the inner work is where all of the cogs in the wheel are doing all of the turning. So sometimes that takes a little bit more time for that to continue on inwardly before it is expressed externally. But you'll start finding little nuggets of gold, like there's not that continual lower thoughts. You may find that you start thinking, I actually am starting to believe in the words that I'm saying myself. I am actually know that I am worthy of so much more. I understand and accept that my life is designed exactly how I want it to. So I'm going to do that radiant inner work because I am ready to shift in to the next level of self, all through mastering my emotions and understanding that my mindset does matter, and therefore a whole new perception within your inner world, within your soul, and that human part of yourself starts to merge together gorgeously and starts coming together like almost like a team, rather than having two separate identities all fighting and struggling to be seen and be heard. They now start to unite and work as one gorgeous vessel and help you be able to step into your own potential. So this week is incredibly powerful for you to rediscover more parts within your own self, to connect into that version of self that believes in you, that version of self that knows that you are worthy of living an abundant life, and that you value yourself because you understand that your value system was only governed by that lower vibrating version of self. And now that you have risen into a new version of self, your level of value is also going to increase. And remember, your value is only determined by how you value yourself, not by how others value you, only by how you value yourself. And you're going to find that you'll find that you'll start radiating in your physical structure those shifts that are happening within you. Your shoulders will sit back. You'll be more open in your heart. Your head will sit on your shoulders. Now, I know that's going to sound really silly, but when our posture is in alignment and you see someone that's really confident, their whole physical structure is in alignment so that they become this beautiful channel to allow that energy frequency to flow through. So you may find that you walk with more confidence, you speak with more confidence, and your actions are then executed with more confidence, not running around with your head chopped off. So you're going to find that even your physical structure is going to radiate this new determined version of self where you believe in your own self. So it's an incredibly gorgeous, gorgeous week where you step into your own potential, become aware of your value system, how much you are worthy of a gorgeous, abundant lifestyle. And it all begins with you believing in your own self, which then takes one step further into the type of internal conversation that you have with yourself. Now remember, your internal dialogue is the most important conversation you are ever going to have in this world, because the way that you in which you communicate with yourself will be what ignites your emotions and your actions. So always be mindful of your mindset and the thoughts that you are putting in. If they are things that you are not happy with, then scrap and delete them. No one says you have to keep those thoughts. Replace them with something much more powerful that allows you to shine all your awesomeness. So have an incredibly amazing week. Much love to you all. And please feel free to share or tag anyone that you feel that would love to hear this message. Take care and have a great week.